FEB-UP, dan dilanjutkan dengan kuliah umum oleh Alex Tan. Beliau adalah Ketua Prodi Keuangan dan Akuntansi School of Business and Public Administration, University of the District of Columbia. Today we are going to witness the deliverance of LOI between School of Business and Public Administration, University University of the District of Columbia and Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Pancasila, and a gift exchange between the two institutions. After that, Alex Tan PhD, will deliver a studium generale. Namun sebelum acara dimulai, mari kita menyanyikan lagu kebangsaan Indonesia Raya dan himne UP. Let's start this event by listening to the Indonesian National Anthem as well as Universitas Pancasila hymn. Hadirin dimohon berdiri. Hadirin dimohon berdiri. Hadirin dipersilahkan untuk duduk kembali. Marilah kita bersama-sama mendengarkan arahan dari Ibu Dekan Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Pancasila, Profesor Dr. Insinyur Iha Haryani Hatta, SE, MM. Bu Iha, silakan.
Yes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good afternoon, Mr. Alex Tan from School of Business and Public Administration, University of the District of Columbia, lecturer and student from Universitas Pancasila. I am happy to be here today to witness the signing of the letter of intent between our two institutions, School of Business and Public Administration, University of the District of Columbia, and Faculty Economy and Business, Universitas Pancasila. This is a significant step forward in our shared commitment to providing high quality education and training. After the signing, Mr. Alex Tan can give me letter of intent, and Mr. Alex Tan will give a lecture with an exciting topic, how to improve your job market ability through certification. I believe all of us agree that certification is important in today's competitive job market. I look forward to a successful partnership and a productive discussion about the benefits of certification. Thank you for your attention, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Acara berikutnya adalah penyerahan LOI yang diwakili oleh Alex Tan, ya, untuk diterima oleh Profesor Dr. Iha Haryani Hatta, SE, MM. Kemudian dilanjutkan dengan tukar cenderamata serta foto sesi. Terima kasih banyak Prof. Iha. Setelah fotosesi, acara dilanjutkan dengan kuliah umum dari Alex Tan dengan topik How to Improve Your Job Marketability Through Certification. Dengan kata lain, meningkatkan nilai jual pekerjaan kita melalui sertifikasi. Kuliah umum ini akan dimoderatori oleh Pak Roy Prakoso. Pak Roy, silahkan dimulai.
Oh, udah. Thank you. Baik, selamat siang. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, salam sejahtera, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya. Salam kebajikan, salam Pancasila, salam sehat ya. Santai aja, nggak usah tegang ya. Yes, okay, Alex. Just relax ya. Okay, today we have a very our visitors is your professor from the University of District of Columbia, Faculty of Economics and Business University. I think we have discussed earlier in that room at the time, and there's quite a lot of interesting topics here we discussed at that time. So Alex, I think your topic is quite interesting because there are many of the students. Kalian masih pada kuliah atau udah selesai? Kuliah ya. Nah, nanti ada tips bagus dari Alex ya. Jadi intinya mengenai sertifikasi ya. Ini so certification is we can gain all student when they graduate from university ya. Probably most likely will get some benefit if they want to apply a job in many sectors in the industries, of course, right? So you may be later you may explain to them how to get. But there are many certification, as we know, right? In the market, is there which of the certification is suitable for ourselves to choose, right? I think you may explain later because again, certification itself, it has a accredited or uncredited certification again. Which one that we're supposed to choose? There are many others, and I think this is not quite what we call cheap, ya, especially the international. Saya kemudian orang ekonomi punya, saya bilang Alex, I got 5 certification from IBM as a programmer in S400 IBM. Jadi saya long time ago karena disekolahin sama kantor. Jadi saya meskipun orang ekonomi, saya dulu programmer dan main di mainframe dan itu laku. In US ya, friend of mine American, he said that, Roy, if you have certification from IBM, I think there are plenty of the companies there will require kind of that. Sorry, Maybe you may explain. Oke, untuk mempersingkat waktu mungkin kita persilakan Alex Tan untuk membawakan materinya. Nanti kita akan buka juga untuk diskusi dan saling berdiskusi dengan Alex, menanyakan hal-hal yang memang ingin diketahui. Oke, Alex, this is your time to present. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody. So, first of all, before I begin talking about the topic that I'm planning to talk, let me first thank the leadership, the faculty, the staff, and the students, of course, for a very, very warm hospitality to this institution. That I arrived this morning, I was picked up at the airport, everything was taken care of. I just want to show my appreciation that I've been very well taken care of. Thank you. So back to my topic. So a little brief introduction. My name is Alex. So I'm from the finance side. So I'm a full professor of finance at the University of the District of Columbia. I also have the honor of serving as the department chair for accounting and finance. So I also manage the accounting and finance programs. So with regards to the certifications that Roy was bringing up, I may be a little biased. So I tend to talk more about the accounting and finance certifications. And as Roy talked about earlier, there are so many certifications out there. So again, which certificates are so-called good or worth it? Again, it's really hard to make it like a rule to say, oh, it's not, or is it good or bad? So the first thing to look at is first whether the certificate in that area, is it well recognized within the field. So if you are for example, you are an accounting major, for example, so you want to, in the US at least, there's the CPA, the Certified Public Accountant. I'm sure you have a similar certification here in Indonesia, because the CPA in the US is very geographical restricted, because they talk about taxes and auditing, and the rules are different across the globe, right? Each different country has its own rules. So this is one thing that you want to think about. Then let's talk about why do you want to get certified? First of all, is when you apply for a job after you graduate, right? When you send in your resume, think about it. The recruiter received thousands, if not more, applications or resume out there, right? So what you need to do is, what you need to stand out, basically. How do you stand out above the rest? So you graduated a bachelor's degree in business. So does 1,000 more people that graduated with the same degree. So what makes you different? Again, that's how you stand out. A certification will then put you out there. Okay. With the certification, you can also, the certification also validates your capabilities. And with that, it boosts your confidence. And then when you talk to recruiters, you feel more self-confident about what you're talking about. It makes you more, really feel that you really mean what it is. Okay. And then while you're doing your certification, you tend to connect more with the industry, right? Because you will get into the group, whoever is taking the certification with you, you get to know people from there, and you get to know people from the industry as well as your peers. That will increase your networking opportunities as well. You never know if you have a job that comes out with a friend or an acquaintance that you found through this connection with the same certification, chances are if he or she has a vacancy, he or she knows that you have the certificate, guess what? You might be on a call and say, I have a job that he or she already know you have the certification. Why don't you come in, right? So connection with the industry will help. And related to this, as you learn through with the others with the certification, you also learn. And at the same time, as you progresses through, you will also learn how to teach or how to mentor fresh or newer certificate holders. Okay. And then the next one is with certification, you tend to be paid more. Research have shown that candidates with certifications versus no certification, candidates with certification tend to get paid 20% more than those who do not have a certification.
Jadi intinya Pak Alex tadi bicara bahwa tentu ini fresh graduate kan kita baru ya, saya juga ngalamin dulu. Kita tuh lulus, kita belum punya apa-apa, baru mungkin ya sudah jadi sarjana. Tapi karena kompetisi sangat ketat di sana, Pak Alex bilang ya certification-nya akan membantu. Jadi perusahaan juga tuh akan memanggil, ya akan melihat juga daftar sertifikasi itu, ini menjadi nilai tambah ya. Kalau nggak salah Bu Dekan mohon izin juga kan ini adik-adik kita kan juga diminta ya untuk wajib ya sertifikasi untuk menjadi bekal kalian nanti. Nah kemudian tadi 20% yang punya sertifikasi ini akan lebih diperhatikan. So 20%, right? You mentioned earlier that is probably most company they will take a look at this particular persons. Oke, jadi tetap ada manfaatnya. Jadi mungkin nanti kita dengar lagi lebih lanjut. Oke, you may carry it.
Just piggybacking on the 20% salary difference with certificate versus no certificate. In fact, the fact that you are eligible to be certified you're actually more marketable. I'll give you an example. For example, my students graduated from my program, from my accounting program, earn the minimum requirements to take the CPA exam. The fact that they are eligible to take the CPA exam, the big 4 accounting firms will actually recruit them, will actually hire them right after college. So that's something that you can think about. And then now, the more that you can bring to the job, to the table, it's great, right? Experience is a good thing. And if you couple that with your certification, you become more well-rounded in terms of your whole package. The other thing is with a lot of certification, there's also continuing education, right? It shows that you're the continuous learner. So again, one thing about it is employers really don't want you to be working in a job, going to a dead-end job, right? You upskill yourself. By having a certificate, one of the requirements is to actually have continuing education. So that will show your employer that you are improving yourself over time. Last but not least is that being certified or getting a certificate shows that you some form of credibility. Again, you're not saying something, or you're not having the employer guessing what you can or cannot do. The certification, because you go through the certification, the exams, the skills, the contents, the knowledge, you pass all those exams, and that tells the employer that you can do it, not that they have to guess whether can you do it or not. You can go.
Okay, thank you Alex. Jadi intinya dengan sertifikasi itu employer atau pemberi kerja itu menganggap bahwa kita improving ourselves gitu ya. Jadi orang ini punya kemauan untuk belajar gitu. Never stop learning. Jadi ini kan yang dicari ya. Sampai sekarang pun saya pun masih banyak belajar. Nah jadi kemudian si employer juga melihat bahwa wah ini anak juga atau orang ini mau melanjutkan studinya. Jadi continuing education. Artinya pendidikan itu kan tidak harus ke master degree after we graduate from university. Mungkin dengan sertifikasi ini dulu ya. Jadi kemudian saya juga sekarang masih juga mencari banyak sertifikasi. Ya khususnya international certification. Ya kemudian juga employer ini pemberi kerja tidak menduga nih orang mampu atau enggak gitu. Are they able to do this or not gitu. Tapi dengan certification they certainly will show that this particular guy is a good guy in order to do their job. Okay, okay, let's.
So moving to the next slide. So as I was saying, just like to Lori earlier, there are way too many certifications to list. So I'm going to list mostly the from the business side. So if you can think about it. So obvious, again, I'm going to be biased because I'm from the accounting and finance. So from the accounting certification, the number one certification in accounting is the CPA, right? And then it's the certified public accountant. And then the next one is what we call the certified management accountant. So it's more like, what's that? Like a internal accounting, if you will. The next one I believe is certified fraud examiner, or the CFE. The last but not least is the certified internal auditor. So that's from the accounting side. The finance side, the most well-established finance certification out there is the CFA, which is the Chartered Financial Analyst. And then there's also the CFP, which is the Certified Financial Planner. And then there's also the CHFC, which is the Chartered Financial Consultant. Again, this CHFC, similar to CFP, is a little different. I mean, in terms of the exams, but they are all going to be helping clients work on their financial planning side. The next one is the FRM, which is the Financial Risk Manager. Okay. The last one, as you can see, is again the CMA. The CMA is listed in accounting and finance because while it's called the Certified Management Accountant, obviously it's on the accounting side. However, the contents of it is, a lot of it depends on the finance side. So a finance student can actually take and pass the CMA and become certified. Okay. And then on the human resource side is the SHRM, which is the Society for Human Resource Management. So there are two certifications there. The first certification is the SHRM CP, which is the Certified Professional, and then the SCP, which is the Senior Certified Professional. Last but not least, we talk about the project management. There are two certifications within that. The first one is the PMP, which is the Project Management Professional. And then the second one is the CAPM, is the Certified Associate in Project Management. Now, next, I will get into the details of two of the areas. Roy, you want to go, or maybe? Okay, sure. Okay, so on the accounting side now, the CPA, it's again granted by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountant. Now, at the end of it, I said US only. So again, because the CPA certification is geographically restricted. So in other words, it's only for use in the US. Of course, if you think about it, if you get a CPA from the US, what you can do is, can you come back to Indonesia to use it? Yes, of course. You won't be able to practice like a CPA in Indonesia, but you can actually work for a US firm that is based in Indonesia. For example, a large US companies having operations in Indonesia, you can definitely be one of those qualified individual working for them. So for the CPA, it's four parts. It's the BEC, the FAR, the AUD, and the REG. So again, it's audit, financial accounting and reporting. BEC is the business environment and concepts. And the last one is regulation. So these are the four. So you can take these four in any sequence, but you have to pass all four to get the certification. Now, note, in 2024, it's this curriculum is going to change. So the exam structure is going to change. Now, I also mentioned, in order to take the CPA exam, you need to have 150 credit hours. In other words, you need more than a bachelor's degree. It doesn't mean that you need a master's degree. It's not required, but you just need to have the 150 credit hours. And I'll explain more about that. In terms of work experience, 1 or 2 years, it depends on the state. In the US, each state has its requirements for the CPA. Some states require 1 year, while some states require 2 years of working experience. So again, when you have a CPA, you will say your CPA is issued by, for example, the state of Maryland, for example. So that's different as well. Next one is the CMA. So it's going to be granted by the Institute of Management Accountants. The CMA requires 2 exams. Each exam, I believe, is 4 hours. 2 exams, 4 hours each. And then once you pass the 2 exams, and then you need a bachelor's degree with 2 years of relevant experience. And then you can then be certified as a CMA. You want to do it?
Okay, well, according to your explanation earlier that some certification, it needs a job experience before. I mean, some of it is maybe 2 or 3 years, it depends, right? So, because this is a new graduation from our university, are they able to take a certification by means that they don't need any particular experience?
That's a very good question. The answer is yes, you can. So let's say you want to take the CPA exam and you have the 150 credits. You can take the exam and you can pass the exam. So once you've done that, but you don't have the working experience. So what you put into your application where you apply for a job, you tell them that I passed all the exams for the CPA exam. I passed all 4 exams, all 4 parts of the CPA exam. Then the employer will know because you just graduated, right? They will know that you're just waiting for the experience to come in order to actually apply for the license, right? So you can pass the exam, but being a licensed CPA requires that years of experience. But taking the exam does not require you to have the experience. It's about getting the certification, the final sort of stamp before you get it. That's where you need the working experience. Same thing with the CMA. It's the same thing. You can take the exam. In fact, taking the CMA, you don't even need to graduate from college. You can actually be in your 3rd year of your university studies and you can take the CMA exam. You can pass the exam and you just say in your resume, you just say that I passed both exams of the CMA. And they know because you're still in college, you don't have the working experience, right? But they know that you already passed. Once you get the experience, you will be a CMA. That's a good question.
Okay, thank you. Jadi tidak semua butuh pengalaman kerja kalau menurut Alex. Ada yang memang kita hanya take exam aja, kalau kita lulus ya kita certified gitu. Cuman tadi perlu lihat-lihat juga ya, ada beberapa ya. Bahkan yang selama masa studi pun kita bisa ambil. Jadi mungkin beberapa juga adik-adik ini bisa juga preparation ya. Karena saya sih yakin memang sertifikasi ini sangat membantu. Apalagi kalau sertifikasinya ini mungkin sesuatu yang dicari ya banyak ya. So Alex, I would like to know further how to make choose which certification is probably is proper for ourselves, because there are so many, right? So are we going to see first from the market? I mean, most company they are looking for what kind of certification, especially in digital era. Ini sekarang era digital ya. Ya, jadi banyak mau kerja nih di startup ya, tapi startup juga banyak yang bermasalah ya. Because from the SVB case, Silicon Valley Bank, there was a startup there. So would you please give some explanation? Thank you.
That's another very good question. So which certification to go? Let's say, give an example for the accounting one, right? So if you are an accounting student, you can either choose to do, maybe you're thinking about doing the CPA, or maybe you're thinking about doing the CMA, right? Maybe, or you know what? You actually can do both. There's no exclusivity that you can only do the CPA, but not the CMA, or vice versa. You can do both. Of course, there is a cost issue, right? Because each certification costs quite a bit, right? So I have to say a little bit related to my school. So if you are an accounting student at my school, you can actually apply for the CMA scholarship. So we have 10 slots available for students in accounting or finance that if you get the scholarship, you can take the CMA exam for free. You can take the CMA exam for free. So no exam fee, and they'll also provide you with the review materials for free. And they also give you 3 years of membership for free. So that package alone, it's about $3,000 worth. So in other words, if you want to do the CMA package, your own, you probably want to come out. It costs you about $3,000. But through the scholarship, it can lower your costs by that. And again, for the CPA, some larger firms actually will pay for your CPA exam. So you just have to negotiate. It's about negotiation at the end of the day. So you have to negotiate what kind of package that you want to include when you get the job offer. You just have to negotiate.
So CMA, so based on your explanation that your university would like to give kind of scholarship for CMA, right? Is that, if I'm not wrong? It depends.
So what I mean is, if our university every year, we have the ability to give up to 10 scholarship to accounting or finance students, regardless of where you're from. So if you come, if you graduated here, or if you transferred here, or if you finish off your diploma, come to my university to continue to do your accounting or finance program, then you're eligible to apply for that particular scholarship. And the scholarship is only open to students from my university. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's very interesting ya. Ada 10 tuh scholarship tadi dari Alex ya. Betul, tapi kayak tes dulu gitu. Tapi kenapa nggak coba gitu ya? Yang penting, so what the basic requirement for that? I mean, to be able to pass the exam. I mean, is that we need kind of the grade to first score or what? Besides, of course, the counting theory, of course. Yeah, I think. Is there any tips, any advice from you?
I think at the end of the day, to prepare for the exam, nowadays, everybody has what they call a review package. There are a lot of third-party review companies out there that they sell packages. Again, depending on the market that you're in, again, depending on how competitive. Some markets I've heard is you pay a fixed amount and you pay this amount only. Even if you fail 3 times, they don't charge you extra. So they'll provide you the materials until you pass. Again, some companies will say, you know, you pay X amount, but if you have, let's say, if you don't pass one exam, take the other exam, you pay another amount, whatever it is. So it's going to be depending on the market, depending on how competitive that market is. In the US, I think it's a combination. I think you have both of those companies out there. Either you can have it like a one amount package, or you can have a, you know, like a what they call a la carte package, that when you do it, then you can do more. Again, at the end of the day, you are the one that will have to make the decision and has the impact. If you think that you are confident to pass the exam, again, you don't buy the package first, right? Go check it out on the internet, because the internet is so much information out there. Go check it out. Find out more about the exam. You know, hear what people say on the internet. How hard is it, and all that kind of stuff. Find out more information before you decide on which package or which exam you want to do, and then which package or review materials you want to purchase. There are way too many things. And again, it doesn't have to be based in Indonesia. Because nowadays all the packages are virtual, online. So they can send it to you with a code and you can just use it. So it doesn't matter. So again, decide on which certification you want to do, and then you think about how you want to go about doing it.
Oke, thanks Alex. Jadi memang sekarang ini kan medianya banyak ya, bisa lihat secara online. Tadi sarannya Alex, coba aja browsing gitu untuk cari sertifikasi yang internasional. Kemudian juga ada beberapa biasanya memang tips-tips latihan-latihan soal yang kita bisa ikut ya. Tapi kalau internasional memang mostly in English, jadi memang pemahaman bahasa Inggrisnya juga harus bagus ya. Tapi harus cobalah masih muda-muda ya, termasuk nanti chasing scholarship ya. Jadi sarannya Alex tadi memang itu. Kemudian Alex ini saya baca CV-nya luar biasa. He has a lot of certification. I think he's an expert as well in many various factors. Jadi mungkin nanti tipsnya boleh kita tanya jawab ya. Nanti ada sesi siapa yang mau tanya jawab sampai kita nunggu Alex sampai selesai presentasi. So after finish. Thank you.
So the next one is what we call the CFE, which is the Certified Fraud Examiner. So it's going to be granted by the Association of Certified Fraud Examiner. Again, 4 exams, 2 hours each, and then a bachelor's degree plus 2 years of working experience. And again, if you think about it, look at it, the CIA, not the CIA that you know of, not that CIA, it's the Certified Internal Auditor. So it's going to be issued by the Institute of Internal Auditors. Now, these 2 certification is global. In other words, you can do the certification here in Indonesia and it works. So in other words, there is no geographic restriction because the rules are the same. There's no tax implication. Therefore, it's global. Okay. So, and you can see 3 exams, 6.5 hours, master's degree with 1 year of experience or bachelor's degree with 2 years of experience, right? So if you think about it as a whole, in fact, I'm going to talk about the finance one as well, but at the end of the day, you'll find out what you need at the end of the day in order to get the final certification, whatever certification we're talking here, you need your bachelor's degree. So what is the main takeaway from attending this so-called this lecture, whatever, is complete your bachelor's degree, complete your degree program. Don't stop halfway. No matter what, get your bachelor's degree. It is it's gonna impact your future a lot. Believe me, it's gonna impact your future a lot. So for the finance one, as I mentioned, the CFA or the Chartered Financial Analyst, it's like the golden sort of standard that people go in finance. Okay, again, it's because most people in finance, they talk about investment, and this is more investment. And again, finance is not just about investment. And as I mentioned, the CMA, the finance students also can take the CMA exam to do certification in that. That has nothing to do with investment, you see. So there's different pathway. Even if you're a particular major, there are different pathways. So the CFA is 3 levels. It's 4.5 hours each exam. Okay, there are 3 exams. And you can, and you have to do it sequentially. You have to do level 1, level 2, and then level 3. Like the CPA, unlike the CPA that I told you about, 4 exams, you do any one in any order. It doesn't matter. But this one, it matters. You have to do level 1, you pass it, then you do level 2, and then you pass it, and then you do level 3. So you cannot do level 2 before you do level 1. It's not allowed. Okay. So for the CFP, is the Certified Financial Planner. It's granted by the CFP board. Now, I said global/local. Now, the CFP is issued in the US. Now, from my experience, I understand that certain countries have their own version of CFP. In other words, they get certain courses from the CFP and they recognize it. And then there is a local version that deals with the local law. So that's a little bit different. That's why it's global/local, okay? But the CFP, you can take the CFP here from Indonesia directly also, because all the exams now is online, it's virtual now. Same thing, bachelor's degree. So the CHFP, which is the Chartered Financial Consultant, as I said, is very similar to the CFP. In other words, at the end of the day, they are advising their clients about their financial decisions. Okay, so it's 8 courses and 1 exam. So you have to take all the 8 courses and then you take standardized exams. Now, for the 8 courses, those 8 courses, depending on your background, you can get a waiver from those courses. It depends on your individual background. Some students who have taken certain courses will be able to waive those courses out. You have to apply for a waiver through their system, but it can be waived. It can be waived. Again, same thing, 3 years of relevant experience. The FRM, which is the Financial Risk Manager, granted by Global Association of Risk Professionals. This is global again. FRM is, other than the CFA, FRM is the next global finance certification. It's very popular. And it's, as you can see, it's two exams. One exam is 100 questions. The other exam is 80 questions. Now it's multiple choice. So again, think about it. It's not really that hard if you think about it, because it's multiple choice, right? What have you learned in terms of through your years of studying? What is true about multiple choice? What is true about multiple choice? So you have 4 choices, right? Or 5 choices, whatever it is, right? So what is true about these 4 or 5 choices? I mean, you can guess it and you can potentially get it right, right? And you know the answer is already there. The answer is always there. So think about the strategy about taking a multiple choice exam. There are some strategies. Go check it out, right? It's different than a short answer exam. It's not the same. The strategy is different because the answer is right there. And then I already mentioned about the CMA, which is again, same thing, 2 exams, 4 hours each, and it's global. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, thank you. Ada strategi katanya ya untuk ngadepin multiple choice ya. Kalau kita ngitung kancing kali ya. Our strategy is, when I was a student also, is counting our button. Which one is number A, B, C? Just jokes. Supaya nggak ngantuk ya, jam segini berat. Jadi ini tadi pesannya Alex tadi satu yang saya notice. Jadi benar nih, sekolah nih kalian nih harus lulus graduation di S1 dulu ya, karena itu akan menentukan future kita ya. Jangan sia-siakan waktu yang ada gitu ya, sambil jalan juga mungkin nanti. Alex, maybe some of the students here, they would like to know about is there any particular relation that even though they are not graduate not yet from the university up to now, but if they take a certification, is there any difficulties for them to implement whenever once they are graduate and then they maybe work in one company, especially in Big Four. Tadi kita bicara terus Big Four. Big Four ini kan dreams ya, dreamsnya student ya. Pada mau nggak sih masuk Big Four? Oh, harus dong, bisa ya. Alex tadi banyak tips untuk masuk Big Four ya. Maybe you have some advice for them. Thank you.
First of all, that is totally true. First of all, let's say you want to take, I mean, obviously you cannot take the CPA before you graduate, but let's say I mentioned you can take the CMA before you graduate, right? So you have to think about, when do you want to take the CMA? Do you want to take the CMA during your first year of university? Probably not, because again, the CMA requires you to have some knowledge in terms of accounting and finance. And you probably won't take those courses until at least year 3. So my recommendation in that particular case would be take the exam. If you are interested, forget about whether, what would I do, or maybe I don't like this field at all. But think about it. It doesn't hurt you having an additional certification. It costs you money, of course, but it doesn't hurt you, right, at all. Sometimes you never know at the end of the day, maybe this certification where maybe it's not part of your original plan, maybe it comes back and really help you in the future. You never know. Again, it doesn't hurt you. If you can get an additional certification, get it. If you can make the effort and the time and the cost, do it, right? But other than that, you should do it. You should do it at the end of the day. So I'm just going to give you some examples from my school, right? So from a student, from an accounting student perspective, there are a couple of options because, as I mentioned, many of my accounting students, they are looking at the CPA, right? So what they do is either they graduate and then they double major. Double major, again, they can double major in a few choices. They can double major in accounting and management. But the more logical one is to double major in accounting and finance, because accounting and finance, for those of you who know, accounting and finance is very related. We're basically talking about the same things, basically. We're looking at the financial statements at the end of the day. Okay, that's one. The second option is some students who graduated then go ahead and do the MBA, right? So if they graduate with a bachelor's degree, they get the 120, and then they do the MBA. MBA typically is 30 to 36 credit hours. So if they add them up, they will get the 150 that they want, right? Also, another way is they pursue a graduate master's degree, but not the MBA, but maybe a master's degree in accounting from a different school. So at the end of the day, the ultimate objective is to get the 150 credit hours. Just by getting the 150 credit hours for an accounting student, they already open the door and make it very close to them having the Big Four firm talk to them, giving them an initial interview. And if they can break the interview, the interview round, they get a job offer from those firms, which is really good. Now, for my finance students, of course, if accounting students can double major in finance, why can't a finance students double major in accounting? They do. I also recommend them to do. But for those students who's originally finance, double majoring accounting, their goal may not be to do the CPA. It could be, but it's not. Because again, if you're a finance student, you never thought about the CPA. Never. I've never thought about the CPA myself, right? So again, but giving them a choice to double major in accounting, that will bring them stronger in their background in terms of the accounting side. As I mentioned, accounting and finance is very closely related. So having them learn accounting will strengthen their finance background as well. Of course, if the option opens up and if they're interested in taking the CPA, sure, they are now eligible to take the CPA. And some of my graduates from the finance program will also pursue graduate programs. I have a few students. In fact, I have one student who went, after graduating with a finance degree from high school, went over to UC Davis for the master's in finance. And then two, this August, actually went to Indiana University to pursue the master's in finance program at Indiana University. Of course, I didn't mention about it, the internship opportunity. Now, I noticed that you guys have your internship during your final year, right? Where you have internship with the firms. Over in the US and fairly recently, the internship opportunity is opened up for all students, any level, first year, second year, third year, or fourth year. So a lot of opportunities is coming up for the finance students and the accounting students that will provide, and those firms provide them with internship opportunities. It is important, especially in accounting and finance, when you have an internship and you start off internship, again, that means that the firm is giving you an opportunity to, what's that word? To impress them, So during that time, if you can impress them, guess what? You are very likely that they will offer you a full-time job after your internship. So it's very important. Especially recently, I've encouraged a lot of students to do that, especially international students. International students in the US, it's very difficult if you graduate and if you have no job waiting for you, and once you graduate with no job, you can only stay in the US for a very limited window. And if there is no other options, you have to go home. So having a job offer is very important. Another option, obviously, for international students is graduate study. So after you graduate with a bachelor's degree, if there's no job offer or no internship or no nothing, another way, if you don't want to go home, is to apply for a graduate program. Go and do your master's degree. That's basically what that is. So, yeah. This ends my presentation. Any questions that you guys have or? Yeah.
Oke, sebelum tanya jawab, yang terakhir menarik. Jadi, according to Alex bahwa setelah graduation tuh kita punya limited time kalau di Amerika ya. Kecuali memang kita ada internship, kemudian punya historical yang good historical. I mean from many companies they offered us to be join in their program for internship and so forth. Jadi memang kalau enggak ya kita harus pulang ya. Nah artinya memang sebenarnya ada peluang juga di kalau ada yang mungkin mau sekolah lagi ke sana. Tadi juga rencana mungkin ke depan akan ada kerjasama juga ya Bu Dekan ya dengan tempatnya Pak Alex ya untuk melanjutkan juga studi di sana. Jadi itu kemudian ya job offer ini penting ya. Jadi ada penawaran kerja dari perusahaan-perusahaan di sana. Baik, oke mungkin sekarang karena sudah selesai presentasinya Pak Alex, kita lanjut dengan tanya jawab ya. So first, how many? Three questions first.
Just one more thing before I open it up to questions. So if you have any questions with regards to the universities in the US, of course, I prefer you come to my school. But if you have any questions with regards to the US education, going to grad school or whatever, even if you are thinking about going to another school in the US, it's okay. You can still contact me and we can talk. No, I mean, I'm not saying you must come to my school, even though I like you to come to my school, but even if you don't want to come to my school, it's okay. I'm still happy to talk to students who want to come to the US for their studies. I just want to tell you that. So thank you. Terima kasih. Any questions?
Give prosperous. Thank you, Alex. Mungkin kita buka dulu 3 pertanyaan pertama. In English or in bahasa is okay, no problem. So, mungkin mic-nya bisa dibantu. Siapa yang mau tanya dulu? Pak Indrajit? Oh ya, volunteer. Boleh mic-nya? Boleh dibantu mic. Pak Indrajit, pojok. Ini nih, Pak Indrajit. Baju putih depan. Kiri. Ini, Pak Hin. Google Translate ya. Oh iya, ada Google Translate. Feel free to open up.
Thank you for the opportunity to have question. I would like to ask to Mr. Alex Tan about certification. As a lecturer,
we have some of certification in terms of our duty as a lecturer or as a professional. But the main problem is, sorry, azan. Wait, azan.
I think we will
We will wait for azan.
okay, we wait, I think less than 5 minutes.
Azan dah selesai. Okay. Yes. As we know, in terms of our duty as a lecturer, we have to take all certification we need. And the other side, we have to convince our student to take certified too. But the main problem, most of our students not make sure what they want to be in the future. They become too professional or become just employee. What kind of certification they need? Okay, so I want to ask you how to convince our student to take all certificate as you say, that as certified in public accountant or certified in internal auditor, yes, CIA. How we get confidence? Because most of our students not make sure what they do, what will be make in the future. Because I used to a student too. Okay? I'm not sure what will I do. I have not imagined I become a lecturer in my own campus and right now. So that's why I want to ask to Mr. Han how to confidence. Thank you.
So this is a not an easy thing to resolve, right? For example, I encourage my students to do the CPA or the CMA. I'm not CMA or CPA either. So again, it's hard, really hard to let them know. But the idea here is to let the students themselves learn about the profession and the certification. So what we do is we invite people from the profession to talk. If possible, we invite alumni. So students who graduated from your program and then who got certified, come back and talk. Because again, in my experience, I can say all I want. The students don't believe me because I'm a teacher. They don't believe me. They believe a student, a former student who graduated and did it and come back and tell them. So that's what I recommend, is to encourage either industry professionals or even better, your former graduate who's now industry professional to come back and share their experience with the students. Maybe that way the students will get it. Because again, no matter how hard we try and tell them or encourage them, at the end of the day, it is the students' decision. We cannot force them, right? We can say, hey, it's good, do it. But we can't really force them, right? So we need them to realize it and to learn that, oh, maybe this is what I want, or maybe this is not. Maybe I want to do the other thing, right? So that's again, my opinion to do it like that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tan. So that's the meaning, just people talk about it for us. People who have experience take that certification to talk to our students, especially perhaps our former student who take the certification can talk to our student. I think it's most it's reasonable, I think. But tragically, we have a test center for CPA in our campus, but I think it's not still optimization our test center. Even the outsider come to test to our test center, but not our student. This is our problem, and the solution if speaker from our former students who take that certification, especially certification in public accountant. Thank you, Mr. Tan.
Thank you. I understand. Thank you.
Okay, Brian, is there answer your questions? Okay, thank you. Okay, what next? Who's next? Siapa? Silakan. Ya, okay, kasih. In bahasa and in English is okay, but maybe Alex would like prefer in English.
Good afternoon. My name is Lutvia, and my question is, does having a certification will help me in applying for a job in accounting firm? Is there a possibility for me to fail the selection process? And what things except the certification will I need to increase my chances of being accepted for a job in accounting firm? Thank you.
So if I get your question correct, the first question is, can you fail in the
Yes.
exam?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. You
I-
can still, because there's a minimum score that you need to score, right?
Excuse me. I mean, is there a possibility for me to fail if I already have a certification? I failed for a job, assessment process for a job. Yes.
Okay, this is a totally separate question. Then in that case, that will depend upon your performance during your interview process,
Oh,
right? You can have a certification. That means your employer knows that you have the knowledge,
Oh, yes.
right? But then you have to pass the interview process. So again, if you, just like me, I'm not good at interviewing. I get really nervous, right? Especially in front of big audience, I get
Yes.
nervous. So practice. I don't know. I know some schools, there are career centers in the school that may help you, first of all, they help you with your resume, make your resume look nicer. And then sometimes they have what they call mock interviews. So practice, practice, practice to make your interview better. Interview is important, very important, because you can have all the certification if you want, because at the end of the day, they won't just recruit you because of your certificate. They need to interview you first, right? Before they can get it, right? You pass the first part, your certification looks good, but now they want to talk to you, right? And see how you do.
Okay.
So tell me about, again, with your second question.
Okay. The second question is, what things except the certification will I need to increase my chances of being accepted for a job in accounting firm?
So you're saying which certification will help you increase the,
I mean, other things except the certification.
oh, you mean what else other than
What else?
certification?
Yeah.
As I said, your interview skills is important.
Yes.
I think networking is also important. Some people don't think about it, but networking is, again, I'm bad at networking. Networking is important, really important. You never know. Sometimes through networking, you get a job offer just right from there. So, right, networking is important, right? Networking. What else? Exactly. Just like Roy was saying, maybe you have a LinkedIn profile. It's important, right? Again, LinkedIn as is more of a professional resume. So have a profile and then be professional about that profile. So try not to post personal stuff on LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is very professional. So have a very updated profile, because believe it or not, employers do actually look at LinkedIn for potential candidates. I've heard people getting job interviews just from their LinkedIn. They did not apply, but they have a LinkedIn profile, and for some reason it fits them. And then the employers actually contacted that person. Whether the person is willing to move, I don't know, but they get contacted. That means people notice you on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Oke, siapa lagi? Who's next? Ini sekian banyak, masa yang nanya cuman mahasiswanya cuma satu. Ayo. Mungkin mau tanya, mau sekolah di Amrik gitu ya. Ya, itu ada yang mau tanya. Silakan. Namanya sebutkan, semester berapa, fakultas, jurusan apa?
Hello, Prof. Alex. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Handeo. I would like to ask you a question. If I don't have or I don't take any certification, still I have opportunity or I have same if I don't take or I don't have any certification, but after my bachelor degree, I'll continue to my master degree. Still, I have the same big opportunities to someone who took any certification to work in accounting firm. Thank you.
I don't think I can answer the Indonesian market. If you're an accounting student in the US, I'm not saying the CPA is the only way out, right? You don't have to be a CPA. That's not the only way out for an accounting student. There's other certifications. In fact, again, if you're not into public accounting, not having the CPA doesn't really hurt you. It's okay, right? If you are trying to go to a firm, like a regular firm, and you want to be in the accounting department, the CPA is not important. Of course, having it will help, but it's not required. So it doesn't really hurt you that much. But as I said earlier, having a certification is better than no certification. I don't care what the certification is, as long as the certification is from the mainstream, it always helps. But again, back to your question, I don't know about the Indonesian market about accounting, but accounting is not only CPA. Most people do CPA because they know once you work for a few years in public accounting, especially in the big four, larger firms, you are very marketable. You can go almost anywhere. And that's what a lot of people is thinking, majority. Most people don't stay around with the big four for a very long period of time because they understand the big four, the first 3-4 years is very hectic, a lot of work. It's very hectic, but they see the benefit after working there 3 years. Now, when you have 3 years experience working at a big four, now you go apply for an accounting job in a different company, they see you really good. You increase your marketability significantly because they see that you survived 3 years in the big four. That tells them a lot. Validation, right? It's not just the certification validation, but employer validation. That is important. Just like when you tell people, if I'm in finance, oh, I've worked in the World Bank for 3 years, or I've worked at IMF for 3 years. That tells people a lot. My marketability just go up because of the employer that I've worked, not necessarily the certification. Thank you.
Oke, sebelum dilanjut dari Zoom, is there any question from Zoom? Mungkin ada. Okay, Alex, before we continue, I've heard that there's a jokes saying that some part of the accounting job will be done by system or AI or something like that. Well, what do you think about that?
It's true. I believe that's totally true. But that part of the accounting is going to be the more, what's that, routine stuff, like the bookkeeping stuff. This is going to be computerized, automated. That's going to be totally true. But if you think about it, but then at the higher end, when you are a CPA type job, that means they need to be signed by someone and the signature means something. That is not replaceable by a machine. It's not replaceable. No doubt there will be some jobs. In fact, all the industry, there'll be some jobs that's gonna be replaced by AI. But I don't think this is gonna have a significant impact on the accounting field. That's my feeling.
Tadi saya tanya jadi mungkin nggak sih beberapa pekerjaan accounting itu ke depan akan di-handle oleh AI gitu ya. Tapi memang kata Alex, mungkin yang bookkeeping yang simple, tapi pada saat decision making mungkin we have to sign something ya itu perlu lah skill ya kan. We need a particular skill from every single person that they're supposed to sign. Oke, ada lagi mungkin kita buka satu lagi terakhir. Ada? Ini Bu Vini nggak ada hadiah ya, yang buat yang bertanya ya? Atau buat moderator ada hadiah nanti? Oh sudah ditipin ya? Oh iya. Baik, ada lagi? Kita buka satu lagi terakhir, mungkin Alex juga ini sudah asar juga. Bu Irma, Bu Lela mungkin mau bertanya atau ada yang mau di-discuss? Oh satu lagi, silakan. Sudah ya. Oke, silakan Mbak. Siapa namanya, dari jurusan apa? Semester berapa? Silakan.
Hello. Okay. Hello, so my name is Aisha and I'm in second semester now.
Malaysia, ya. Malaysia. Okay. I meant third.
Okay, so I I would like to ask you two questions. So my first question is, wait, how does the CPA exam differ from the CMA exam in terms of content or difficulty? And my second question is it different between CPA or CMA exam in here and another country? That's it. Thank you.
So your first question is the difference between CMA and the CPA exam. I got it. For the CPA, I think the CPA is country specific because the CPA involves taxation. And that's the key. Taxation in Indonesia versus taxation in Malaysia is different, right? The tax codes are different. So in that case, your CPA, if you got your CPA here in Indonesia, probably you won't be able to apply it in Malaysia. However, you can work for an Indonesian firm having an office in Malaysia. You can think about that. Now, with the CMA, though, it's different. It's not geographically restricted. It's global. So whether you got your CMA here, there, anywhere, your CMA certificate comes from IMA, and that's a global institution. So people will recognize it. The key here is because the CMA does not test taxation. Because taxation is not taxed. It only tests you around about finance, about accounting. And accounting is done the same way. The concepts are the same, right? The accounting learned in Indonesia is the same as the accounting learned in Malaysia or even in the US. The idea, the concept, the bookkeeping step, the historical cost, all that kind of stuff is the same. There's no difference. It's only about when you introduce the taxes and how that impacts the way that you report it. That's the difference. That's only for the CPA. The CMA doesn't touch on taxes and therefore it's global. So you can get your CMA while you're in school here, and then you can bring it anywhere, not just back to Malaysia. You can go to anywhere basically.
Baik. Mungkin Bu Vini sudah atau sudah asar? Bu Dekan mau izin sudah? Baik, kalau gitu kita akhiri. Thank you to Alex Tan for you answering all the questions quite well, and hopefully it will bring all. I think it's very beneficial to all of us, including me, of course. So, firstly, please give applause to Alex Tan. Thank you so much. Okay, before we close, is there any, Ibu ada? Silakan Pak Wasi, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alex Tan, PhD, and Pak Roy Prakoso, as well as the audience for the inspiring discussion. Terima kasih kepada semua yang telah hadir pada acara kuliah umum ini. Kami berharap kita semua mendapat wawasan baru dan inspirasi dari pembicara yang luar biasa. Ya, kita tutup diskusi kuliah umum ini dengan foto bersama dengan mahasiswa, dosen, pimpinan FEBUP. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Rio, like a group of islands. This a Rio archipelago. Okay, but Rio itself, the province in Sumatra. Oh, you have to go to Sumatra. Every 2 weeks, let's go to Jakarta. So you are based in the market. Everything you will give. You want to apply. Sorry. Plenty of study. Right. I see. This is from because when I was looking at Rio, I was thinking about the island. Yeah. Yeah. The whole part of the Rio. That's Rio. They are unique. Yeah, that's why. Oh. Oke, siap ya. Bapak Ibu yang itu dari 20. 1, 2, Ibu. Kejar di atas, 14, 17. 1, 2. 3. Ada silang. 1, 2.